Welcome back to the channel. Today's story is about a hardworking single dad, a rushed decision by a powerful CEO, and a shocking twist that left an entire boardroom speechless. Imagine being fired one day, only for everyone to discover that you were the person responsible for bringing in the biggest deal in the company's history. This inspiring story is packed with emotion, determination, and an important lesson about respect and leadership. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful and heartwarming stories. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. Let's get started. The quarterly board meeting at Coleman Technologies was expected to be a celebration. Executives from every department filled the sleek, glass-walled conference room overlooking downtown Chicago. Charts showing rising revenue and projections for the coming year glowed on large screens around the room. At the head of the table sat CEO Richard Coleman, eager to hear details about the company's newest contract. The deal was rumored to be worth nearly $50 million and could become one of the biggest achievements in the company's history. Richard adjusted his tie and looked around confidently before asking the question everyone had been waiting for. "Who closed the $50 million deal?" he said instead of immediate applause. The room became strangely quiet. The silence lasted several uncomfortable seconds. Senior managers exchanged uncertain looks, and some avoided eye contact altogether. Finally, the sales director cleared his throat and spoke. "The deal was closed by Daniel Brooks," he said carefully. "The single dad you fired yesterday." Richard's confident expression disappeared instantly. Memories of the previous afternoon rushed back. Daniel had been called into his office after missing an important meeting with senior leadership. Without allowing him much opportunity to explain, Richard had accused him of lacking commitment and terminated his employment on the spot. Daniel had tried to mention a family emergency involving his daughter, but Richard had already made up his mind. As the reality settled in, the sales director continued explaining. For 6 months, Daniel had worked tirelessly to build trust with the client. He had traveled frequently, answered late-night calls, and solved countless problems that threatened the negotiations. Even after being fired, Daniel had honored his commitments and completed the final discussions already scheduled with the client. Earlier that morning, the contract had been signed. The client's representative specifically praised Daniel's professionalism, honesty, and dedication throughout the process. Around the table, board members sat in stunned silence, while Richard stared at the screen, displaying the signed agreement, realizing that the employee he had was responsible for the company's greatest success of the year. The boardroom remained silent long after the sales director finished speaking. Richard Coleman stared at the signed contract displayed on the screen, struggling to process what he had just learned. The agreement represented years of potential growth for the company, yet the person responsible for securing it was no longer an employee. One of the board members opened an email from the client and read part of it aloud. The message praised Daniel Brooks for his integrity, patience, and commitment during every stage of the negotiations. The client even stated that Daniel's professionalism had been a major reason they chose Coleman Technologies over several competitors. Hearing those words made Richard realize how badly he had misjudged him. For the first time, Richard asked for the full story about Daniel's missed meeting. The human resources director explained that Daniel's 8-year-old daughter had suffered a severe allergic reaction at school and had been taken to the hospital. Daniel had immediately left to be with her and had informed his manager as soon as possible. Several executives nodded, confirming that Daniel had always been one of the company's most dependable employees. Richard leaned back in his chair, feeling the weight of his decision. He had acted out of frustration instead of understanding the situation. Without wasting another moment, Richard picked up his phone and called Daniel. After a few rings, Daniel answered. Richard apologized sincerely and offered him his job back, along with a promotion, a significant salary increase, and leadership of the new client account. Daniel listened respectfully before responding. He thanked Richard for the offer, but explained that another company had already hired him and valued both his professional skills and his responsibilities. "As a father, I've chosen a place where I don't have to choose between my career and my daughter," he said calmly when the call ended. The room was quiet once again. The board members understood the lesson clearly. Success is built not only on profits and contracts, but also on respect, empathy, and trust. Richard had gained a $50 million deal, but he had lost one of his best employees forever.